All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, we want to give a little shout out to all the people that have been supporting us, that have been reaching out to us, trying to collab in a way, I guess you could say. ExpressYourselfCo.com. If you haven't heard about it, go check it out. Customizable pins, stickers, vinyls, anything you need. Holidays are just around the corner. Yeah. Get them for your loved ones, friends, families, your Sanchos, whoever you got to get them for. Hook them up. Put the code I'm with the boys to get 10% off, and you know how it is. Shout out to La Glamour Lashes. Shout out to Stoner Accessories. The people doing lashes, the people doing nails, all the small business owners. If y'all want to collab, y'all want to shout out, give us a time of day. We'll give you guys a shout out. Don't even trip. We got y'all. We love you. And we're about to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your boys are back better than ever. We want to first start off by thanking everybody that's joining us yet again. It's been a long time. If you forgot who the fuck we were, I'm JG.
I'm Edwin Sarti.
And if you haven't noticed, we have a very, very special guest. The man, the myth, the legend, one of my closest homies, one of my brothers, my boy Chepe. Say what's up to the folks, my G.
Hey, what's up, fam? I'm Jose. They call me Chepe, obviously, as you heard from my boy JG.
Yeah, we're here. We wanted to bring him on as a very special guest because my boy just became a father a few months back.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, salute.
Was it a baby boy or baby girl?
It's a baby
boy.
Big bad Manny, homie.
That's what every guy wants.
Yeah. Yep. And what we wanted to do today was wanted to, shed light on those new fathers, the ones that are fathers, the ones that are having kids, because I'm gonna be honest, there's some deadbeats out there, I ain't gonna say names. I met a few. I know a few. I'm not gonna say anything, but
some come from deadbeats,
Yeah, exactly. Hey.
Yeah.
And we want to shed light on that. I mean, we're here for the boys. Want to look out for everybody. But let's jump right into it, my boy. Tell us who the fuck you are, where you from, what you do, and how you do it.
All right.
Sorry, but before you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So, my name's Jose. I'm from Garden Grove, local. I do construction for work. I have 3 kids, as a matter of fact, not just one.
Not just one.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. What else you guys say? I mean, you want to give a shout out to anybody real quick?
What's your favorite color?
Shout out to my wife, Maggie.
Shout out to her. Shout out to Maggie Logs.
Maggie from The Simpsons?
Always getting my back.
Yeah, nah. His girl fuck you up, Edwin. No cap.
Hey, bro, I'm 5'5", probably.
Nah, but we just, like I said, we wanted to bring my boy Chepe on. I've known Chepe since I've known Chepe since 8th grade.
Yeah.
But we didn't start really getting close to like 2015. We started getting real close, started kicking it. We're kicking it almost every day.
Huh. Exactly.
Just getting in a lot of trouble, doing a lot of dumb shit. But we're here. we've grown. We've still stayed close, luckily. And he's one of my brothers. So, first and foremost, Chepe, what's up? How did it feel becoming a dad? Your first reaction, my boy. Like when Maggie pulled out the the pregnancy test and was like, "Hey, my boy."
Oh, actually, you know what? Tell us the story. Like,
how
did she actually tell you? Hey, by the way, you're a dad. Hey, can you pass the cheese? Like, how did you do it?
Nah. Well, I got home from work, tired, taking my boots off. I was about to get ready to shower. Just kicking back in the bed. She gives me a shirt.
Okay.
Chivas. I'm obviously a fan of Chivas.
Chivas and Barca all day.
That's my team.
Okay.
She gives me a little shirt. I'm looking at it like, the fuck? I look at it. It's a onesie, a baby onesie. I was already in my head. Everything went through my head. I look at her. She's just looking at me straight. I was like, what's going on? And she just hands me the test, too.
No.
I mean, at the moment, my heart started rushing. I got a little excited. But I've heard a lot of things that people get pregnant. They take the test. They're not pregnant. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to chill.
Like, hopefully you're that 0.01 of 99.9.
She looked at me. She's like, you're not excited? I was like, yeah. But then I told her,
that shit.
I want to be sure.
Were you actually speechless or were you just like literally quiet? You were just kind of like...
I heard my boy almost fainted.
And I was kicking back everything. And I was just thinking to myself as she looking at me like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I finally spoke to her. I was like, I want to be 100% sure before I get excited, before I tell the homies, before I tell my family, everything.
Oh, okay. I see that. It's not a prank, huh? It's
no,
not a prank.
Yeah. So by then...
Because that is one hell of an expensive prank.
She already had the appointment, though.
That shit's fucked up. Don't do that. Not funny.
By then, she already had the appointment though to go to the
Okay.
doctors
Oh,
to get
shit,
a
okay.
to get a real test. So it was probably, I don't know exactly how long after when she finally got the results. And I was excited, happy, more excited to know what the
What it
gender was
was,
gonna be,
yeah.
a boy or a girl. And then I didn't tell my parents till when I knew it was gonna be a boy or a girl.
Oh. Also, you not hit it, but you just wanted to.
I didn't tell. No, I didn't really tell anybody.
Hey,
We just
just-
kept it to ourselves
Yeah.
till when I knew.
The gender reveal parties.
Yeah, we had a little thing.
Little thing for them, yeah.
Okay.
And
'Cause
the way I
that
told
was
my
like COVID. That was like
It was
when
around
It was
COVID.
around COVID time, yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
COVID baby then.
Yeah. Little quarantine hit.
and then I told my mother the same way she told me. I gave my mom the little shirt.
Oh.
I was like, here, and she's like, what's this? And I was like, well, you're gonna be a grandma. She didn't really believe me though. She was like, nah.
You just said it like that. Hey, by the way, you're a grandma.
Yeah, she was in the kitchen. She's doing her thing. I just walk in. I was like, here. She looks at it the same way I did.
Oh,
And then I was like, well, you're gonna be a grandma.
okay.
And then she got like really serious. Like,
Oh shit.
Was the baby like planned or like do you know if it was just kind of like an accident, but you know it's a blessing. In
My boy,
disguise.
my
Well, I
boy's
mean-
down for whatever.
no, well, we had spoken about it.
Okay.
And I told her that I felt like I was ready.
Mhm.
But then, well, obviously, we already had it planned out.
Okay.
And then I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready for this
Okay.
next step in my life.
Now, can you now for the guys and for the guys that are, you know,
That
possibly
get those
thinking about
scares.
getting a baby, you know, pretty much for those guys who are having those conversations with their girls about having a baby, because like, you know, I am too. I'm talking to my girl about having a baby.
Hey,
and
you
whatnot.
are?
That's
Hey,
right.
shout out to Ed. Hey, Sam. You sure?
We take a little break now.
But it's like, how do you know that you were ready? Like, what made you think like
Yeah, that's a
like
good one.
besides like
Did
the
you- well,
financial part, like what was it actually? You were like, you know what, I'm ready.
did you see yourself having kids? I think that's one of the
Yeah.
questions too.
Yeah.
Well, to start off, I don't think you're ever ready to have a kid.
That's facts.
Okay.
Because
facts.
myself, I thought I was prepared
Mm-hmm.
until my baby came out. And now he's going to be 5 months on the 22nd. Now I'm like, I wasn't really prepared for this. You know, like it's a big responsibility that you don't even think till it's there. You know, like, and you don't. I thought I was planned out. Say, I'm had this, and this, but no, you can't plan it out till it happens.
You're never really ready.
Yeah, you're not ready for it.
That's what I always heard. Like, because I think one of those things that, I mean, for myself, like, everyone always says, like, you think you want kids, but you're not ready. It's like, dude, like, I don't think you can ever really be ready. Like, I'm ready to take it on.
But to be honest, you can't be ready for something that you don't know what's gonna.
That's exactly.
You can't prepare for it.
Because obviously you hear a lot of stories that, like, okay, some kids cry a lot, some kids don't, stuff like that, you know? So it all depends.
You just have to go through it.
Melatonin and that shit, you know?
No, I got you.
But what I want to, what I really want to ask you, and something that I feel like we should clear off the table is, like, okay, we all know, all the people that know you, know that Maggie already had 2 kids prior to that.
Yes, sir.
How was that, bro? Because I know it ain't easy, and I mean, I love the kids. Those are my nephews, because no cap, they're my nephews, you know. But how was it for you? How did it feel? How was that transition, and how did it feel, adding one to the family?
And actually, that, and then can you explain your mentality at first when like trying to take care of stepkids to like
Your own.
years later? Like what's the switch? And then did that, or was that a reason why you were ready to have a kid of your own?
Okay, well, obviously it's not easy. Nothing simple. Carrying on 2 kids, right? But those kids, I mean, I love her. So, I mean, I'm not forced to love the kids.
Right.
But I do because I love them. You know,
Right. They're part of your routine, your
Yeah,
life. Yeah,
they're part of my family now.
right.
Their family now.
It was obviously hard in the beginning because, well, they're already older.
How much older, if you don't mind me asking?
Anthony's 5 and Sophia's he's gonna be
He's gonna be 6 soon,
6.
no?
Yeah,
Oh,
this
okay.
month, and she's 7.
Oh,
She
okay.
just turned 7 too.
So when I met them, obviously they didn't really accept it, because
Mhm.
well, this is a stranger.
Right.
I don't trust him.
Yeah.
But as they saw how I treated them and how I treated the mother, they started getting that respect for me. They started loving me, and now they even call me dad.
You know what? One thing that because I've taken psychology, and then I've taken a lot of like child development courses, and one thing that they stress out a lot about parents is that be present in the first 5 years. So the fact that you came in post those 5 years, and now that they're accepting, it really shows like the the whole like integrity, the value that, and also like the respect that you give towards those kids, because it's not easy.
No,
Because I know that
definitely
like
not.
for me, my stepdad didn't come in until I was 7, and I really didn't accept until years later.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I gave him a run for his money. So the fact that you did that, I salute that,
Typical
especially with 2 little
Edwin,
ones.
little silver
So
teeth ass fool.
I did have a silver. I had 3.
Motherfucker.
So I mean,
Yeah. Japan knows.
so how did that like contribute to like? Did that made you ready, in a sense,
I
to
feel
have
like
your own?
I feel like it was prepping me because I had more responsibilities after that.
Okay.
I didn't not only have to worry about myself or my lady, I had to worry about 2 kids.
Mhm.
So before all this, if I didn't go to work, I didn't have to worry about it. It's myself. If I don't eat, it's cool. But now I feel like I have to work.
You're a provider.
Yeah, because if I don't bring food to the table, they're not gonna eat. It's gonna affect them, everybody. But going back to how I came into their lives, being already 5,
Mhm.
being older, it was hard because the kids wouldn't listen to me,
That's what I was
you
gonna
know.
ask you.
And
This
for
is-
everything, they would ask her and like kind of like avoid me. So it was hard on my side where I was like, you know what?
Be patient, huh?
If I want a family with them, and I was already thinking ahead, I do want more kids, and it's gonna be with her, because she had my back. She still does. She always will. Because
Shout
I
out
know
to Maggie. Shout out to
that's
Maggie.
Maggie.
You saw how he just looked in the camera like,
Yeah.
Like I know she looking.
She'll be looking.
Yup.
he got me, dog.
Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, I fell in love right now. I was like, damn, Chepe.
So
Okay.
going through what I went through with her and those kids, I was like, you know what? She's gonna have my kids for sure.
I actually we never asked how old are you, and how old is your girlfriend, wife?
Well,
We'll just say wife.
Yeah,
We'll just say wife, bro.
Wife,
I'm
homie.
25 and she's 25 as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
We all
so-
grew up together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we went to school together as well.
I'm 27. I ain't even ready yet.
Motherfucker, you old? It's time, G. You're already almost a grandpa already,
That's
G.
why, bro. I
And
should be like at this age, was it Mexican? Should be like a great grandparent by
Yeah,
now.
low key. So yeah, honestly, but it was. I mean, even for us, like we were always close. Like I said, we were together almost every day. It was a tough transition to see him pull away from us because obviously, as homies, we were clowning him like, "Hey, fool, you're whipped," this and that. But as time started growing, we started seeing the seriousness and everything. It was like, oh, we gotta support him.
yeah,
And we have been. I mean, I hope we have been. I love the kids. I love Maggie as my sister now. Now she's Chepe's wife. Soon to be legal wife. But
yes, yes.
that's what we say and shit. We just all became one big family. It was crazy seeing all that. Even though I remember, I'll never forget fucking Aldo. Fuck that motherfucker. That fool
Shout
was
out to my
like,
bro.
yeah, shout out to that fool. That fool literally was like, "Hey, Chepe, she has 2 kids. You have to match. Like you have to give her 2 kids too.
At least.
So I mean, hey, we see baby Manny.
Yes, sir.
I said, my homies make cute ass babies. Maggie hasn't missed. We need another one already. No pressure, but another one already.
but hurry up,
Going back to how it pulled me kind of away from my homies, it was hard because I was used to going out, having drinks, and then doing.
We were
Yeah.
dog, let's put it this way. Sorry to interrupt. We would be at Stoner Park. Shout out to Stoner Park. The people that know Stoner Park know Stoner
No,
Park.
what's up?
Yeah. So we would be there twice a day, almost every day.
No cap.
No fucking cap. The only time we weren't there is we would go, we'd go eat, and then we'd go back,
Yeah.
and then we'd go home.
Give us a percentage of how how many friends have you lost? Like 90% of them,
Oh, that's a good
50% of
one.
them, just simply
Actually-
because of the kids,
Um.
out of curiosity, or
Probably
maybe
lost-
or maybe you're like me, who has like 3 friends, including this table.
Probably I lost like a good 80% of the friends I had, and there were friends that are still out there doing about their things,
Mhm.
and I'm not.
Still living that life.
I'm more about of a family man now,
Mhm.
and I gotta do my gotta do.
Would you say that you lived your youth in a way?
I did. Honestly.
So like at this point,
So I
it doesn't
don't-
really matter.
I don't really miss it.
Okay.
I'll go out, have a few drinks with my boys right here,
Mhm.
but it's not like, oh, I miss going out, this and this, because now what I used to do out, now I changed. Now I go out with my family. We'll,
Oh, okay. Family
He
time.
leveled
Yeah.
up, Papa. She leveled up.
yeah.
Do you find more meaning in like being a family man than
Yeah.
just like dicking around?
And it was hard. It was hard to get my mindset that, hey, I'm a family man now.
Yeah,
You know,
gotcha.
being home like most of the time now, At the beginning, it was hard. It was stressful for me.
Mm-hmm.
Having kids running around the house, having me to adapt to that was hard because I have my nephew. Shout out to Ethan.
Yeah.
They're the same age. So you can imagine having 3 kids running around the house.
Oh.
Me coming home from work, construction, reading blueprints, whatever, coming home.
Stressed out.
Yeah, exactly. So my only way out was going out, smoking a little bud. That was my thing.
Like outside of the patio.
Yeah.
No, but then again, the bud was pulling me away from my family
Gotcha.
because I was going out. I'll be like, "Hey, Maggie, I'll come back right now." So on her side, we had a talk. Like, that's pulling you away from your family. Bud relaxes you. I would get home and I'd just knock out. When the kids wanted to go out to the park, wanted to do this.
Spend time with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So thankfully now on Sundays, 3 months sober, no more bud or
Congrats.
anything.
Good for you, man.
Congrats,
Good for you.
And also, my boy, I was like, bud is not bad. Believe me, it's not bad. But I found it in a way that it was already pulling me away from my family.
It soaks up your time.
Yeah.
Because you got to trip and
So I was
enjoy
like,
it,
I'm gonna get over this. I don't want my boy, growing up, seeing me just being there, not spending time with them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it had to be done sooner or later. Nah.
I kind of have to ask because you said that. Because I know every parent or not every parent, every person that wants to be a parent always has this idea of like, I'm gonna treat my kid this way. I'm gonna do this. Did you ever have that where like, you know what, I'm gonna be that strict dad. Oh, you know what, I'm gonna be that lenient dad.
Chep
Like,
actually said something today. We're all fucking cracking up in the group chat. It fool's like, I forgot what he said. We're talking about Manny, it's his son.
Mm-hmm.
And Chepe was like, this fool's gonna be more. He's gonna be more of a verga than his dad. He's like, don't fucking doubt me. And we're all just
God.
cracking up.
Well, because me growing up,
Mhm.
my dad, he's old school.
mm,
He
OG.
always, since I was 7, he would take me with him to work.
mm,
He was always strict. For me, looking at him, I would never see that love, but
mhm.
he loved me. He was
Right.
strict. He always wanted me
Shout out
to
to
do the
him.
right, So now what I feel is with my son, I'm gonna be that strict, cool dad. I'll show him what my dad taught me, but in a way we're closer. Because with my dad, I wasn't as close. He was always home. He was always there, always bringing food to the table. Always a hardworking man. Still is.
Right.
There was no like
You're-
emotional
you're-
connection sometimes that you
Yeah.
wanted, maybe.
Yeah, like I feel like, as a father, old school,
Mm.
he wasn't gonna show that love.
They don't
You
show
feel me?
emotions, especially
No.
like Mexicans. They really don't.
They don't.
Realistically,
It was
speaking.
more of like I was closer to my mother. If I had a question, I feel more confident going with my mother.
Gotcha.
So now with my son, I want him to still feel the same, but have that confidence with me. Like,
And you know what? That's hard to
Mhm.
do for a guy. It's like, well, just dudes in general.
Yeah.
To talk to another guy, it's a whole different
It's-
ball game.
That's why
So
we're
the
here.
fact that that's your goal, that's
that's what I
definitely
want.
a good
Yeah.
goal that I
Break
feel like every
cycles,
man
bro.
should
Exactly.
have.
Cut
I want
the
to switch
chain.
it up because me growing up without that love of a father, he was there,
Mm.
but it was kind of like, does he care about me?
You wish you
like,
had that shit. Huh?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
of
mean,
course, of course.
I'm assuming according to what you said is that your dad showed you love, like physically, like okay, there's food on the table, but never really expressed it like I love you, mijo. Like, hey, come
Yeah.
over here, have an ice cream with me.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
So you kind of want to do not the opposite, but you want to add to that. Like, okay,
add to it.
like I'm gonna give you the ice cream, like the food on the table,
Ex-
but
Have that love
how,
for him.
like how was your day?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like go for a walk with him. Hey, you know what's going on? Like,
Yeah,
kind of
feel free to ask me
vent to him and
anything.
shit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
gotcha.
I mean, I want to ask now, like, for just for the people. I mean, I know almost everything about Chep and shit. We know we've been there. But how did, for the folks' sake, how did your parents feel about the stepkids? How did they feel about Maggie, and then how did they feel about you having a kid with Maggie?
Well, as you know, my parents, they never judge for anything.
We love
Never.
them.
They'll
Like
never
second
judge
parents,
you
huh?
whatsoever.
Yeah.
My parents feel you welcomed every time. Anybody.
Hospitality,
Yeah,
day one.
always.
Trust me.
So
A lot of people have actually been there too. No
Yeah.
sir, but everyone that knows what's up.
My dad, still to the day. I mean, for him, he's like, or he's already he's a man. We don't really talk. We work together. As a matter of fact,
Mm.
we work together, and we'll mess around at work, this and this, but we'll never sit down and have a
Right.
conversation like one on one.
Gotcha.
But my mom, she's like, hey, it's a big responsibility.
It
Like,
is.
You're already taking 2 kids on. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm ready for it. Which you gotta prepare. It's a big,
it ain't easy, cuz.
Jeez.
it's some weight on my shoulders, but my lady Maggie is always helping me there. So it's a team.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I gotta take some weight off her back. She takes some weight off my back. We're even.
So you've pretty much spoken about like the whole of like being ready, taking on 2 kids. And now I kind of want to move over to like, like the baby. Like now that you have your own baby, like give us some of the stereotypes that are true, that it's not like, oh yeah,
It's a good one.
sleep, that shit is true. You don't get shit. Like, like how are you with that?
Well, they look for me. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna sleep. This and this. But what helped was that my lady took her maternity leave out,
Okay.
so she basically took care of all those nights that my son would wake up. Well, they have feed him every 2 hours or so. So she had my back in the point where she's like, he has to keep working, bringing food to the table.
She understands.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she had my back in that perspective. So I would sleep.
That teamwork.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's always teamwork. Always teamwork and
course.
communication.
Mhm.
Like you got me, I got you. And it wasn't hard as how people say, oh, get ready, you're not gonna sleep.
Mhm.
Obviously, you're not gonna sleep if you're the one that's gonna be taking care of the kid. But
Just to alternate,
yeah.
Would you say that's a hard thing though? Like even though you're not physically getting up, you're kind of getting up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you still hear it, like
Right.
you're sleeping and he's crying, you still like.
Does it still deprive you of your sleep though? Or like are you kind of a heavy sleeper ish?
To be honest, I'm a heavy sleeper.
My boy's a
Right.
fucking heavy sleeper.
I'm a heavy sleeper.
There's one time we threw him. It was his turn for his birthday, no?
Yeah.
We that fool fucking got drunk and fell asleep. We drew all over his
All
face.
over
He didn't
him.
even feel it. He was just laughing like.
So yeah, I'm a pretty heavy sleeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the hardest part about being a dad, though, fool? What can you give that piece of advice? Like, what's the hardest part for you right now, at least?
Answer that with the stepkids and then your actual
Ooh, that's
kid.
a good one.
Well, just the hardest thing is trying to, because as kids, they ask for a lot of things.
What do you mean?
True.
Like, oh, I want
Can I have
this,
this?
like chips
Oh,
from the
okay,
store.
okay.
I want this toy. I want this. It's hard for you not to say no. But I feel like if you always keep saying yes, 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 as they get older, it's only gonna get harder to control that.
To say no.
Yeah, to say no.
Damn, fool.
So
That
the
old
younger
man
they are,
mind.
and you say, no is no. Okay, they listen.
Right.
At the beginning, it was hard because they didn't trust me. They're like, "Who are you? Why should I listen to you?"
Did you feel like you had to say yes at times because they weren't your kids, because you wanted them to be on your
That's a
side?
good
That's
one,
a
Edward.
great
To be honest,
Fuck,
yes.
Edwin. Fuck.
Yes, because I wanted them to
to like
love me. Like
Yeah.
to like me.
To bribe them a little bit.
Yeah, you can say that. You put it that way. But once I had their confidence in this,
Mm-hmm.
to the day I sit with them and I talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
I ground you not because I want to be bad, because I want it for your right.
Gotcha.
You did something wrong, and there's consequences. So if you do something wrong, there's gonna be a consequence. When they get older, they're gonna have that in their minds. If I do
Right.
this is gonna happen.
That's
You
dude.
get me?
What's kind of like your
That's
what's kind of like
great.
your go-to line when it comes to disciplining your kids? Kind of like how you said right now. It's like, if you do an action, there is a consequence, whether it's a good or bad, but there's a consequence. Is that like your go-to line, or do you have something else?
Well, basically, just tell them that.
Okay.
You know
First,
what
I tell them,
did.
you know what you
Yeah.
did, right? And they'll just nod. I'll be like, I make them tell me what they did.
Gotcha. That's smart. That's
Once
smart.
they tell me what they did, you know
Yes.
why this happened. And
Because
you
it
know
makes
why,
them. It makes them.
Yeah,
Think. Okay.
exactly.
dude.
That's good. That's
Jeff has
good.
been ready for this.
I know. I was about to say. I was like, man,
There's a
he's
lot of
been
parents
wanting
that
kids.
just-
And obviously, younger, they
Fucks
listen.
you up.
As they get older, they think different now. So they
Mhm.
won't listen to you as they're older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You-
Smart. Dude.
That's really good, bro. I mean, realistically speaking, you plan to have more kids? How many more you want, fool?
I've
Tell the
spoken with
people.
Maggie, and I want a total of 6.
Oh shit.
So I have 3 right now.
He said it
But-
was cheaper
but-
by the half the dozen.
We have Manny, and before we start moving on, having more, my goal is to first buy a house.
Good.
I have a place
Buying
for
a
you.
house, having a place for them, and having her help them with school. Because I say we don't want to have a lot of kids and just not focus on the school or stuff like that.
Right.
And,
Gotcha.
That's really
Yeah.
good, bro. Honestly, like,
and then
go ahead.
as having Manny, it helped me a lot with my job.
Yeah.
Because before, I just wouldn't want to work,
No motivation.
No
You could
motivation
skip,
at
you're
all.
I
like,
actually had a
fuck this,
question
man.
about that, dude.
no motivation.
Yeah. Go ahead.
After having Manny, I'll be at work. I'll get lazy. We have those days where we're like we're lazy, but on my phone I have his picture, so I just bust out my phone. I look at my boy. You
That
know what?
motivation.
I got someone that needs
Someone
it.
waiting for me.
Yeah.
Someone depending on
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
So
Type of
you're,
shit.
you're the perfect kind of guy to actually be a father, bro. Because like I was gonna ask you, like, what was your definition of happiness prior to having kids, and then afterwards?
Well, look, when I met Maggie, I fell in love with her.
Mhm.
So there's two types of love. The first love, I was like, I love this woman, this, and I love her.
Mm-hmm.
When I had my son, I discovered a different type of love. Like that's my son. He's my son. He's always gonna be with
That's
me.
me. That's
So
me.
that's where, and I can explain that feeling of love. You each have to go through it to feel it, because it's something you can't explain.
A parent
You get me?
love. Parents.
Yeah.
That's what my dad tells
So
me.
now,
I'm just like,
now I understand my parents, how they worry about us when we're out on the streets, how we do this, how we do that, because they love you.
Fuck, Chepe. You make me want to be a dad.
So
Let
now,
Let me hit you with a very, very difficult question. Okay, I just heard how much love you have for your son.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have a love of your wife, and then you have your love for your son.
Mhm.
How, like, do you ever have the fear, or of, like, one day in the future your kid's gonna be like, well, you love him more because he is your true blood? Do you ever have that conversation with yourself, like, what would I say?
I've thought about it before. Like he's my son.
He's your actual son versus
He's
your
my actual
stepson.
son versus my stepkids. But I'm not gonna make them feel that way. I don't want them to grow up to hating each other. I want them to have that bond as sister, brothers. I'm not gonna discriminate them. I don't want them to discriminate each other. I want them to have their backs with each other, because those kids, they need that love as well. They never, they didn't have that father figure, and having a father figure for them, I want them. I want a family
A close
like
family,
my family. We
close
have a
bonded
close family.
Yeah.
We have a really close family with our parents,
Gotcha.
and I just want to keep it that way. I don't want them wandering around like, oh, he doesn't care about me,
Gotcha.
this and this.
oh,
That's
you
good,
don't
bro.
realize
That's deep,
how,
yeah.
How like important a father figure is in like the development.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Because I mean, we were talking earlier prior to us, starting recording and everything. And we're like, damn, like Chepe mentioned a good point. He's like, if I didn't show him what a father figure would be, they'd end up being a deadbeat father too. Like they'd be the same way type of shit. And it's true, bro.
And it is, because a mother, like the mother figure to a son, is not gonna be the same as a father figure. Because the mother's always gonna be sweet, this and this. They're gonna give them whatever they want, so they're not gonna have that strictness in the family. There's always have to be that strictness.
that
So
structure.
as giving them that strictness, I feel like it's gonna, shape them up into, well, I'm gonna try to be the best man, the best father, so they could grow up and not be just deadbeats.
Yeah.
Give them that.
What's the biggest lesson you learned, fool? So far as being a dad. Now you've been a stepdad. Now you're actual, like, you have your own kids. So what's the biggest lesson you learned?
The biggest lesson that I learned is that there's no limits. Because I would feel like at work I was just at one level. Now I have my son.
Ooh.
And now I became a foreman. And now I want a supervisor.
Yeah, dude. Congrats.
So it's just like something that motivates you. Like you want more and more and more.
Not just for you, but
Yeah,
for your family in general.
Obviously, if the father of the household is good, the family's gonna be good.
Right.
So if I feel like I keep pushing myself, my kids, my family, everybody's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm assuming you want to be that example for your kids. Like, look,
Keep
I was
grinding.
here, I had you, then I went here, then I went here.
Yeah,
So
keep
you want your
pushing.
kids
There's
to
no
see that.
excuses.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a
But
good
then again,
example.
I don't
like
want my job or my work to drag me from my family.
Right.
So, because I know
so
a
you
lot
have
of
balance.
Yeah,
Okay.
my supervisors at work, I feel them like they're always at work, and I wonder what about their families. Like their kids, they want to see their father. So that helps me while being like a younger guy at my company with all these older guys. It helps me see them. So when I get to that point, which is gonna happen, I want it to be like, I want to change it up a little so I can be with my family as well, doing work, everything, make it happen.
I want to ask, just because, again, like, the way how you're talking, it seems like you definitely have it figured out. You've actually thought about it. You've actually had
It's
conversations with
destiny.
yourself, But I want to ask everybody a question first before you answer this question. Is that, what's your guys' definition of a good dad? And then at the end, I want to know what his is. So Jesse, go ahead. Or Jeff.
No. Let me think.
I
about
personally,
that.
bro, a good dad is a guy that, like, Chepe. I mean, Chepe has pinpointed everything, in my opinion, to be honest. Everything that I feel like I know is a good dad now. Setting the right example, being there emotionally, physically, in every aspect possible for your kids, because it's not easy. I mean, my therapist has said it numerous times. She mentioned a good point recently. She was like, your parents knew how to be parents when you're a kid. It's hard for them to adjust to being a parent to when you're an adult.
Yeah.
They're like, because you're going through different shit. You're not just crying about someone doesn't want to be your friend. You're crying about someone that doesn't want to be with you, someone that broke your heart, someone that did you dirty, shit like that. So now she's like, you have to find a way to adapt and learn from your kids as well as them learning from you. So you have to be very open-minded. You have to understand that, they're going to go through shit that you can't avoid and you can't prevent. You can't control their lives.
Gotcha.
You just have to prepare them. And you can't give them everything. Like Chepe made a good point. No los puedes malcriar. You have to discipline them. And you can't always say yes. You have to put your foot down and let them know that you're still the parent.
Right.
And support them in everything they do, no matter what they do, because it ain't easy. I mean, you have to let them explore their own path. You have to put them like, there's this guy that I follow. He owns the Riff LA. His name's Jeff.
Gotcha.
I got a beautiful piece of advice from him because he literally had his kids in so many activities, tennis, basketball, soccer, and everything. And I don't know why he pinpointed it, but he was like, I do this for my kids so they can, whichever one they accelerate in the most or the one that they find the most interesting and they're really into, that's when they start growing up, that's what we're going to push. I'm like, damn, I didn't think about it like that.
Also keeps them off the street.
Exactly. Because, a lot of people, I want him to be a doctor. I want him to be a fucking soccer player or this and that. It's like, no, like they might not want that. They might be a fucking badass golf player, a fucking tennis player, but you won't know unless, you put them in activities. You get to know them as well. Like I said, it's just being there possible and never stop grinding for them. And being that example that, obviously I didn't have. Like, I want to be that example that my kid will be like, I want to look up to my dad. Like, my dad's my hero type of shit. That's my example. I mean, sorry, fucking going on for
That was
years.
beautiful. That was beautiful. I like that. I was just like, Jesse.
I'm ready.
Y'all want to have a kid together?
I'm trying, fool. Y'all, me and homie were talking about it. We actually
adopt,
mad at me and Peter were like, hey, fool, let's adopt. Fool, like, fuck it, bro. Like, let's do it, dog.
That's I was going to bring that up.
Honestly, like, I'm not canceling that out of my life, bro. I would rather have a kid by myself than to have a kid in a toxic relationship or someone that we're going to end up splitting up or like someone that I don't see myself with forever.
Cue the fucking music right there.
Mic drop, No, but for real, like, I didn't come from the most perfect parent relationship, so I went through some tough shit. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. Believe me when I say that. I know I've known a lot of people, but I came from a toxic parent relationship. A kid's not going to come from a toxic relationship for me. That's for sure, So
what you think, Jay?
Honestly, all right. So we've mentioned before. I don't want kids. Like I don't, but it doesn't mean I would be a shit like parent. I just like I'm not ready, and I don't have the formula.
Yeah.
Like you guys were saying, maybe I'll never have the formula, but
just go to Target.
I mean, at one point, like I would, if I meet someone, I would consider like adopting. Like I want to like have like an animal rescue.
Yeah.
Like have a like sanctuary and see how I do with that.
And then go from there.
And then from there, probably like have like a kid like through adoption because there's a lot of foster kids that need a home. And then we'll see. But until like I'm ready, I'm not gonna bring another person into this world. I'll take care of someone that needs that father figure, but they're already here.
Well, amen. Gotcha. What about you, Edwin? Give us your perspective. What's up, bro? I mean, you, Mr. Like, hey, Sam.
Nah.
Take notes, cause my boy gonna spill the beans real quick.
Yeah, one thing that I think that a lot of people are greedy of is giving away their secrets. And when I mean about secrets, I mean about like the key to success. And I feel like I love this podcast mainly because like we as men, we collaborate and then we like to give out as much information that we feel like somebody can benefit. And with that being said, is that I feel like being a good father means that you're actually preparing your kid, whether it's physically, mentally, financially, whatever. You have to set them up for success. And honestly, all that's hard because not only do you have to set them up for success, you have to set yourself up for success.
True.
Kind of like you said, you're like, oh, I was ready. I mean, you've had these conversations with yourself, so it was. I'm pretty sure it wasn't easy. I mean, you were like, oh fuck, like yeah, I'm ready, but then you're like, wait, do I want it or do I need it? Like, what is it? So like I think the key to being a good father, I think it's like not only preparing your kids, it's also leading by example. Because that's the hardest thing to do.
He's always going to look up to you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Boy or girl, they're still going to look up to you.
Exactly. And that honestly, I feel like that's even harder than preparing the next generation. Because it's like you have to prepare them in every aspect, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever, yourself, and then on top of that, you have to walk the walk. So I feel like that's what it takes, because that, and also identifying each child's like personality, because I feel like that's the hardest thing, because maybe being strict with one kid is effective, maybe, but maybe
What the
this
other one
kid
is
wants to
that?
be sweet. Maybe this one needs to be beat around the bush when you get him in trouble, or the other one you got to be stern. It's just like knowing
Getting
that.
to know them.
Yeah, it's that's. I feel like that's what it takes. It's like preparing yourself. Leading by example.
I like what you said,
And
Evan.
and it's hard. It really is.
Yeah, I like what you said, though. I don't mean to cut you off, but I think that's one of the biggest things is you can't just talk about it. You have to be about it.
Yeah.
Because that like kind of like kids
Yeah.
will remember what you said
Yeah.
no matter what. And if you didn't do it for them, they'll remember that.
Because I feel like those who talk and don't walk become the deadbeats.
Exactly. Those are the ones that kind of just let you see the type of person they are, and you'll never believe them, and you'll lose that respect for them. To be honest.
I mean, and then speaking about deadbeats, what's your ideology on
Well,
deadbeats?
let's ask him. Your definition of a good dad now, Chep. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, way off.
I'm getting a little ahead of himself.
I know.
As everyone was speaking about generations, prepping up for the generations.
Mhm.
I feel like my father, they come from a generation where it's like they're strict, whatever.
Tough love.
He's a great father, but like my son,
Sorry, bro.
It's all good, bro.
well, to be like the best father that I feel like it's gonna be, it's like being open minded with them, not let them like go in the room and like there listen to the music, thinking about their problems. I want them to come sit in the table. Hey, can I speak with you? Always be open minded to them, support them. Anything they want, you gotta support them, but you also gotta talk to them about you already whatever they're gonna go through. Most of the time, we already went through it.
Facts. Facts.
So you gotta tell them you're gonna see them going out with their friends, going this. You just gotta tell them always make the right decision. You may think it's right or wrong, but always make the right decision. Because they're gonna go out. You went out. You know what you did.
You know what it is.
You know who you were hanging out with.
Yeah.
I think I want to add into there. Like, feel like you're probably gonna break that cycle of like older parents. They don't really like talk to you about
don't.
like sex and drugs.
Nothing.
No.
They just pretend it doesn't exist and say don't do it. They don't tell you, all right, if you do it.
They don't prepare. They don't set you up for success.
They always say, "Oh, he's too young. He's too young."
Yeah, it's like, and then.
But that's when they know they're like a
skip it
sponge right now.
altogether.
When they're younger, they're sponges.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Literally.
always learning. They see everything. So I feel like if you're open minded with them and talk to them, when it comes to the point of doing something, you're gonna be in the back of the head. Oh my father spoke to me about this.
Yeah.
He obviously went through
I've
it.
heard
He
about this
prepared me
before,
about
yeah.
this.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say that, because I know that like my family is completely different. They're very
Hardcore
Christian,
Christians, huh?
religion, military life, all that stuff. So you can imagine the shit that I was restricted. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't even go in front of my own front yard without being told what am I doing. It was constant like that. But whereas my girlfriend, very outgoing, they did whatever the hell they wanted,
Mexicans,
but they're way closer than my family. And the thing is that like her dad would tell like her son or my girlfriend's brother,
yeah.
he'd be like, look, if you're gonna do that shit, let me tell you what, this is what's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. That's all I can tell you.
Because
Whether you
obviously
want to
they're
go
still
through
gonna
with
do it. They're
yeah.
still gonna do it. You're
Right,
gonna tell them they're still gonna go through
because like the more you restrict something, the more that the kid will want to figure out what it is or what to do or even try it.
It's that saying when they say strict parents create great liars.
Yes. And
Literally.
honestly, that shit is
That's
facts.
fucking facts.
I'll tell you right now, I was the best liar. I swear to God.
No fucking cap.
One time, really quick story, like 30-second story. I remember one time I ditched school. I straight up told my mom that like because she wasn't spending enough time with me, I left and ditched school just
you
to get money, just to
motherfucker. You
just to
piece
pretty
of
much hang out
shit.
with her more. And then, she believed me 100%. I was such a great liar, bro. Sorry, mom. But what I'm saying is like, I mean, it really just boils down to that. It's like preparing your kid, and I just
You can't give them everything. You have to
Yeah.
kind of show them. Like Chep made a good point with the decisions. Like at the end of the day, I don't personally feel like you'll tell them like the right decisions. I feel like you should just pretty much tell them like, hey, every decision you make
Yeah.
has a consequence.
You can't just give them the tools without showing them how to use it.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
You get me?
Mhm.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
One thing we forgot is like curing all the trauma you're carrying around
Oh,
and
facts.
not passing that on to your kid, because you might not know the trauma you got going on, and then you like pass it on. So like the sins
Don't
of your
project
father
your
become
emotions.
yours.
Yeah, literally. No
Yeah.
cap. That's a good one, Jafar. I like that.
And you know what? That's true because I feel like you actually mastered that because, like how you said, maybe your father wasn't, hey son, how was your day? But now you're like, okay, I know that, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be more vocal. I'm gonna be more of a. Sorry, I knocked your mic out. But it seems like you definitely thought about it. Like, okay, this is the good things about my dad. These are the bad things. Okay, let's not do this. Let's go ahead and improve it by doing this.
Yeah.
And I feel like you definitely had that conversation.
But
with
I think
yourself.
what helped me was obviously my mother, So you can't be a perfect dad without the help of your wife.
Yeah.
So the son,
Yeah.
speaking in general, because my boy, he's a boy, he's also going to need that talks with his mom, her. They're going to be close, but I want all three of us to be close.
Right.
Obviously with the brother and sister as well.
But just certain topics, you mean? That they can be...
Yeah, like...
you mean?
Yeah, like me, I was closer with my mother, not with my father. So I feel like that's what helped me become who I am now. Like, I got the strictness from my father and like the feelings from my
The
mother.
love,
Oh, okay.
the emotional side.
Gotcha.
To my son, I want to give him both, but he also needs that the feelings, because obviously women are more like
Emotional.
more emotional. So he's also gonna need that from his mother.
Gotcha.
He's not just strict.
Damn, this is fucking deep. Honestly,
It really is.
I have one question though. Like, you think you'd ever? How do you feel about deadbeats now that you're a dad? Do you think you'd ever be one? I mean, obviously, no, but
that question doesn't even go through my head.
That's good, bro. I'm glad. But how do you look? How do you see deadbeats now? Like
I don't understand how they can have a child, look at the child knowing it's theirs, and just leave them. No guidance. Leave them just,
Yeah.
I have my son, and I always think to myself, I'm never going to leave this kid. Never. Like, I don't see myself just walking away. No matter how hard the situation is, whatever. That's why there's a communication with the wife.
And that's a big thing. And I want to give you kudos and fucking a lot of praise and respect for you. You took two that weren't yours. Yeah. And then you had one. It takes a man to do that. As a man, bro.
It's hard to show feelings. Yeah. But you have your wife and she understands you. So if you got something to say, just say it. You don't gotta hold it just because you're the man. You want that figure. Nah. We cry as man either, Right. We just don't want to show it. Yeah. Right. But if you have that communication with your wife, she's gonna support you. Hey, I'm having hard time with work, or I'm having this and this. It's better to let it out than hold it in. Because if you hold it in, like, I feel like it gets a man like aggressive. Like the kids are more, hey, like, get out, get out.
That's true.
Just let it out. Like, there's no problem with letting it out.
I have a random question. Not random. It actually ties to it. Like, do you actually feel like some women or some mothers contribute to dads being like, or to dads being deadbeats?
Oh, I don't think so, because a mother is always gonna love their kids. So, I feel it's more like
interesting.
I know where you're going. Because
if you were
go ahead.
If he were a deadbeat, like if he didn't care about the woman, he would still be there for the son.
Right.
So it's just they leave their kids, like they don't even be responsible for them.
All right, bro. Let me speak for Edwin. So if you and Maggie have a bad fallout, fool, would you still stay with Maggie for Manny or no?
Well, no. Well, if we got a fallout, if things aren't gonna work out.
If you guys weren't happy together no more, you guys weren't working as a team, would you stay together with Maggie just to keep Manny in?
No, because he's gonna see that there's gonna be that
tension,
bad vibes, and So that's when you talk to the kid and tell him things with your mom aren't working out. Doesn't mean we don't love you. It doesn't mean anything. It's just that we're having problems. Facts. But you just don't move away.
Yeah. That I do agree that it's best to split up than to stay together for one reason only. It's because children will end up acting out. And then that acting out is really just to get the attention for both parents to be present in front of you. So I feel like,
and honestly, I want to put this out there. I don't think if there's a fallout and there's no hope in the relationship, I don't think another kid's gonna fix that situation. No, I don't think having another kid's gonna keep that man, or
some people think that way
girl
too.
is gonna keep her with you. Is like, nah, bro. Like, they're not glued. Perfect. Thank you, Jafet. You always have the right words to say, my
So that's why it's always communication.
Yeah,
That's
because it's tough. I mean, coming from a divorced family, it was real tough. You know, it was hard trying to see like you don't feel love, realistically speaking. You know, so I mean, I respect what you're trying to say, and just I mean, co-parenting is big too. Co-parenting because a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people create toxicity in the kids, and it just becomes a fucking whole toxic household. G. It's like
you can't like
yeah, bro. Honestly, I salute you though. I salute you for everything you've done.
If you pass on the communication to your kids, they'll understand. Right. You know, you just communicate with them.
Keep it 100 with them. That's always what I always say. Like, yeah, like,
you don't gotta hide it from them. They see it.
They'll understand more than you know. Yeah. I think that's what it is.
That's it. Damn, it's gonna be tough for them, but if you're always there, you got their backs. Why not?
Fuck, bro. Honestly, Chepe, like I said, I salute you, bro. It takes a special kind of man to do what you've done and do the shit you do. I look up to you, bro, and one of my best friends with my brothers and everything. I mean, what do you got to say for the guys out there that are, you know, struggling like with like, oh, I don't want to take on, those are my kids, like step kids and shit like that, or even having kids of their own. Like, what advice do you have for them, dude?
Well, I mean, if they don't want that, just don't get into it.
Don't even get involved.
Don't even. I mean, if you like the women, you have to like the kids. If not, don't even get into it because it's just gonna be more talks.
It's wasting our time.
Yeah,
that's true, bro. I feel like girls that have kids, like, or are dating, I don't feel like they should let the kids meet the guy or anything yet because the kids could get attached. But
they shouldn't hide it from that person either.
No, hide it. I'm not saying hide it. No, hell no. You hide that shit. Oh, hell no. That's already a red flag. You know. I'm just saying like, don't involve the kids until you know it's something serious. That's all I could say. Let them know you have a kid. Let them know there's kids in the picture. Don't involve them because the kid could get attached and then something happens and that'll fuck up the little kid too.
Yeah. Their heads are gonna.
They're gonna be. Hey, where's this person? They're gonna ask, and I mean, you don't know what the kid feels, you know.
Yeah.
So it's fucking crazy. Honestly, I mean, I'm not a dad yet. I've seen a lot of shit. I've heard a lot of shit. You know, it's not easy.
Not at all.
No one's ever gonna be ready, bro. All right, bro. So, any last advice you want to give to the upcoming fathers, the guys that want to be fathers, the guys that are gonna be fathers and don't want to be fathers? Fathers in general.
Well, to be honest, if you want to be a father or you're going to be a father, and if you're not ready to leave your bad habits behind and grind even harder, then don't even step into it.
Damn.
Because becoming a father...
I did not see that answer coming.
I thought we should talk about the bad habits.
That was realism.
It's a big sacrifice.
Go ahead.
Sorry. You just got to leave those bad habits behind and not only think about yourself. You can't be selfish anymore.
That's fucking crazy.
And that's
true. I think honestly, as a guy, before we start cutting out, what was the biggest sacrifice you had to make? What were those bad habits you had to leave, my boy?
What's her name? No, I'm just kidding.
What was your biggest sacrifice you had to sacrifice for your family? In your opinion, it could be anything.
Well, there's a couple things.
Name them, fool.
Okay, go ahead.
Not going out, coming back home 3 a.m. in the morning, you know, smoking bud, and just slacking off at work was one of those bad habits. So
those are pretty tough.
So like big chilling, you can't big chill like that.
Not no more.
You can't lag no more. You can't be a little procrastinated shit like that. That's fucking crazy. Honestly, before we cut it out, Chepe, this is for my little nephew. This is for your son. Leave him a message because he's gonna see this eventually, and we want to know what you want to say to him right now, bro. Get deep, start crying if you have to. I'll get a napkin. Don't trip. What's up?
I'm pretty sure by the time he sees it and he starts, you know, he realizes it, he's going to be young. He's going to be I don't know how old. I can't say
old
that.
Enough. We got to make him watch the messy videos first so he start playing
I just know that you're going to be a verga. That's it.
That's my boy type of shit. And that's the best way to end it, my guys, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys again for joining us. Honestly, if you haven't done so already, like, subscribe, tell your mama, share, blog, report, tell someone about it. Share it to the people that are going to be dads. I feel like we gave some good advice. My boy here, I think, is a perfect role model for any guy becoming a dad. I've known this fool from his desmadre to his stature of being a dad. It's respectable. It's admiring. It's fucking, he's a role model. I'll say that. That's to say the least. Share it to all the people you know. And if you haven't already, nobody else loves you. JG loves you.
Edwin loves you.
Jafet loves you too, man.
And your boy Chepe.
We'll catch y'all real soon. Thank you guys again. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Anything we might have missed or any improvements. Let us know. We're going to be back and we're going to be better. Late.
Right.
Se la lavan.
See you guys next Monday.
Deuce.